So for lesson 15, we're going to continue our practice with subtraction. So we're going to use a standard algorithm where we need to decompose to smaller units multiple times in the same problem. And then we're going to take a look at some word problems in which we have to do that also. So for letter A, okay, we go through. Now we get to our tens place and we see we have 6 minus 8. So we're going to decompose 100, turn it into 10 tens. So now we have 16 minus 8 is 8. Now we get to our hundreds place and we see we have 5 minus 6. So we're going to decompose 1,000, turn it into 10 hundreds. Get to our thousands place, we see we need to do it again. So 0 minus 1. So we're going to cross off these 10 10,000s and turn them into 9 10,000s. And then we have 10 thousands. 10 minus 1, 9. Okay, and the rest is 0, so we get 9,980. So for letter B, looks very similar to letter A. Okay. So again, we get to our tens place, so we need to decompose one of our hundreds into 10 tens. Okay. Hundreds place, we need to do the same thing, so we're going to decompose 1,000, turn it into 10 hundreds. Okay. And again, same thing in the thousands place, we're going to decompose our 10 10,000s so that we can have 10 1,000s. Okay, and we get 91,680. Okay, letter C, we have to decompose right off the bat. So our 6 tens becomes 5 tens, so that we can have 11 ones. Okay, and then we have 5 minus 7 in the hundreds place. We're going to decompose 1,000 to make 10 hundreds. Okay, 15 minus 7 is now 8. Okay, decompose again in the thousands place. Okay, so 11 minus 4 is 7. 3 minus 4 in their 10,000s place. We need to decompose 100,000 and turn it into 10 10,000s. Okay. Alright, next for letter D. So 1 minus 7. So we're going to decompose the 6 into 5. And then our 1 1 becomes 11 ones. So now we have 11 minus 7. 4 ones. Okay. 5 minus 8 in the tens place. So we're going to decompose 100 into 10 tens. 15 minus 8. Okay. Now we see 4 minus 9 in our hundreds place. So we're going to decompose 1,000 into 10 hundreds. Subtract that. Okay. Now we have 1 minus 4 in the thousands place. So again, we're going to decompose the 10,000 into 10 1,000. So now we have 11,000 minus 4,000 gets us 7,000s. Okay. 3 minus 7, okay, so we need to decompose 100,000 into 10 10,000s. So now we have 13 minus 7, 6, and then 1 minus 0. Okay, moving on down here to letter E. These last four are going to be very tricky with the zeros, so we need to be very, very careful when looking at these zeros. Okay, so our first three places here are simple. Okay, so it's when we get to this thousands places where we have a little bit of difficulty. So we have 0 thousands minus 2 thousands. Well, we need to decompose, but we don't have anything in the 10,000s place, and we don't have anything in the 100,000s place. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross off our 100 10,000s and make it 99 10,000s. And we're going to decompose one of those 10,000s into 10,000. Now we can go ahead and subtract to get our final answers here. Okay, then moving on here to letter F. Okay, so again, our 1s and 10s are pretty easy. 0 minus 0. Now we get to our hundreds place and we need to decompose. So we're going to cross off our 1,000 thousands and turn it into 999,000, and then our 0 hundreds now becomes 10 hundreds. So you can see that when you're decomposing like this, the zeros are becoming 9s, and then this 1 becomes a 0. Okay, so now we can go ahead and subtract on through. Okay, moving on to letter G here. So 8 minus 9, we're going to decompose. Okay, tens place, we see 4 minus 6, so again we need to decompose. 14 minus 6 is 8, 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, so we're set there. Now again, we got these zeros here. So we're going to do 0 minus 2 in the thousands place. We need to decompose. we don't have anything in the 10,000s place. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross off our 60 10,000s, turn them into 59 10,000s, and now we have 10,000s. 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, and then the rest is 0. Okay, so notice how our 0 again becomes a 9. And the 6 becomes a 5. Okay, moving on over here for letter H. Again, a lot of zeros. Start at your ones place, 0 minus 9. Okay, so we need to decompose. So we need to cross off all of that until we get to a number that we can decompose from. So our zeros are going to become 9s, and then the 6 becomes 5. Okay, so our 60,000 tens becomes 59,999 tens, so that we can have 10 ones. Okay, now we can go ahead and subtract on through, and you see we get 7,431. Okay, so now let's take a look at what this looks like with some word problems. So, number 2, David is flying from Hong Kong to Buenos Aires. The total flight distance is 11,472 miles. So they're giving us the total. That right there is a big clue that we're going to be doing some subtraction when they give us the total. If the plane has 7,793 miles left to travel, how far has it already traveled? Okay, so we're going to set up our tape diagram. Okay, and again we have our total flight. Okay, we know it has this much left to go. We want to know how far has it already gone. Okay, so looking at our directions, we need tape diagrams, standard algorithm, and we need to check our answers. Okay, so let's subtract on out. Okay, now again, you want to make sure you're writing your numbers nice and clear, and you want to make sure all of the numbers are lined up in the correct place. So 2 minus 3 we need to borrow. So 12 minus 3 becomes 9. Okay, 6 minus 9. Okay, so we're going to decompose 100 into 10 tens. 16 minus 9 is 7. Okay, so again we have 3 minus 7, so we're going to decompose 1,000 into 10 hundreds. Okay, now we have 10 minus 7, 3. So we get 3,679. So now let's check it by using the inverse operation. Okay, and you can see that it checks out. Now again, notice how we had to decompose 3 times over here. Well, over here we had to regroup or compose 3 times in the same places. So it has 3,679 miles. It has, we left out a word there, it has traveled 3,679 miles. Okay, number 3, we have tank A holds 678,500 gallons of water. Tank B holds 905,867 gallons of water. How much less water does tank A hold than tank B? Okay, so notice that we have an exact number for both. We see how much less, which is a big signal that we need to do some subtraction. So we have tank A and we have tank B. Okay, now we can see that tank B obviously has more. So I'm going to make that one a little bit larger. Okay, and we have our total here. And then we have our total here for tank A. Okay, now we want to know how much less, so we're comparing the two numbers. So what we're doing is we're trying to find out this amount right there. Okay. Okay, so we go ahead and subtract. Okay. So now we get to our thousands place and we have 5 minus 8. So now our 90 10,000s is going to become 89 10,000s. Okay, and then our 5,000 becomes 15,000s. Okay, now we can subtract those on out. Okay, and now let's check it. Okay, and it checks on out. Okay, so tank B holds 227,367 more gallons. Okay. Alright, moving on to number 4. So Mark had $25,081 in his bank account on Thursday. On Friday, he added his paycheck to the bank account, and he then had $26,010 in the account. What was the amount of Mark's paycheck? Now, this might be a little bit tricky because we see that word added, but let's model it out and remember what these two numbers mean in relation to the problem. So we have Mark's bank account. Okay. Now on Thursday, he had $25,081. Okay. Now notice how on Friday it says he added his paycheck. We don't know how much his paycheck is. That's our unknown. But after he added that paycheck, he now has this amount in the account. Notice how that $26,010 is in the account. That's not the paycheck. So our $26,010 comes out here. Okay. So now we need to subtract to find out how much he added to that account. Okay. So 0 minus 1. So we're going to decompose a 10 to create 10 ones. So now we have 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay, 0 minus 8 in the tens place. Well, we can't decompose from 0, so we're going to cross off our 60 hundreds, make it 59 hundreds, so that we can have 10 tens. Now we can subtract that, and you can see that we have 929. So let's check. So if he starts with $25,081 and adds a paycheck of $929, let's see if that gets us his final amount. And we see that it checks out. Okay, so Mark's paycheck was $929.